it's Mrs. Stearns. I hope everyone's having a great night tonight. We are going to go over some of the Google basics that your children will be accessing and using in school. That way, if they are learning virtually or they are doing their homework at home, if they get stuck, you can help them out. We are going to start out by utilizing the Google Drive. And I always access my Google Apps by using the square up here. I call it a Rubik's Cube. So we're going to click on our Google Rubik's Cube and we're going to find the app that says Drive. Now, in comparison to what some of us are used to, a drive is basically our storage. So it's like a flash drive, or for some of us, it's what a floppy disk used to be. And it's where all of our documents will automatically be saved. And when we are looking at our drive, the first thing I want to do for everybody is help you set your device up so that it can work offline. So if you guys don't have internet at home, your child can come home, do their homework, and when they get back to school the next day, or when they access the Wi-Fi again, all of their documents and work will upload. And we do that by coming here to the settings in your drive. And if you scroll a little bit, right here it says you would click right there. This looks a little bit different since it's not a Chromebook, but you would click right there to give your child access to the offline capabilities. And once you click, you can just hit done. And that way your student can come home, do their work, and upload it when they access the Wi-Fi again later. Your drive, again, like I said, is your storage capability, so you do want it to be somewhat organized. In order to create new folders in your drive, you can come here to the drop-down. You can create folders, you can upload files, even upload whole folders if you want to. And one thing, too, to point out, if you watched the Google Classroom presentation last week, each Google Classroom creates its own folder. So I know Mrs. Kidwell utilized world languages here, and so Google Classroom automatically creates their own folders, and that helps you stay organized within each classroom as well. All of the documents that you create in that classroom will be in that folder. So you can come up here and create your own folder if you want to. And it will appear there in your drive. And I'll show you later how you can continue to file your items in your drive. The next thing we're going to look at is our Google Docs. So again, we're going to come up here to our Rubik's Cube and we're going to find the app that says Docs. There's a variety of ways that you can start a new doc. The easiest way is just to click the plus sign for blank. There's also some templates that your child may utilize for different classes, but today we're just going to start with a blank Google Doc. And the first thing you want to do when you're opening up a new Google Doc is you want to title that Google Doc, because otherwise that Google Doc will automatically save as untitled, and it becomes very hard to find the items that you're needing when everything is titled Untitled. You can also file that right away in your drive under your folders. I would file it right here in Training. If you don't have a file already created for your document, you can actually add or create a new folder right there. So I'm going to put this document in Training so it's automatically filed and I can find it very easily. The next thing we're going to do is kind of work on formatting a paper. I don't know if I introduced myself, I'm sorry. I'm Mrs. Stearns, and I am the high school librarian, and for this semester anyway, I'm also taking some classes. I'm going to be teaching psychology and world history. So a lot of the teachers in the high school require a specific format for papers, so I'm just going to go that route. You can change the formatting if you have children in elementary school and they can play around with fonts. I'll just get you familiar with Google Docs. So first thing, we're going to go here to File, and one thing you may want to do is set up your margins. If you want to make them wider or more narrow, you can do that here. If you want to change your paper to portrait or landscape, you could do that there. The next thing we're going to do is insert page numbers. Let's say you need to insert page numbers with your last name. So you're going to come here to Insert, scroll down to Page Numbers, and you can select what type of page number you would like to insert. A lot of times in high school, you have to put your last name in front of your page number, so I'll just demonstrate that there. You just put your cursor, click in front of your page number, and you can type your last name, and that becomes your header. And then every page it will just continue to number after that. The next thing we're going to look at is adjusting font. There's a variety of fonts. A lot of times high school teachers might recommend Times New Roman, but again, a lot of times as well, the teachers will allow the kids to choose whatever font they want as long as it's legible. In general, anywhere between 11 and 12 point font is acceptable in the classroom, and you can choose that sizing right here. Along this toolbar, you can also choose to bold your lettering, maybe make it italic, underline. You can also change your text color here, and you can highlight using the marker. So let's start out by putting our title. So training August 24th. Let's have that be our title, and you can center that right here using the alignment tools. When you enter, you can just go back using the left alignment tool. Let's say you need to double space your paper. You can do that here with the arrow that demonstrates spacing between lines. You can also create a numbered chart or an outline. If your child is required to do an outline for school, you can come here to the numbers and that will create an outline for you. You can also create bullets if you want to. Very similar to Microsoft Word, just the tools are laid out a little bit differently. Some other things that you can do in Google Docs is you could insert a table. We can come here to Insert, Table. This is how many this is how many rows you want. This is how many columns you want. So do so, and that will insert a table for you in your Google Doc. You can format the table however you like. The next thing we're going to do that I would like to show you is how to insert a text box, because it's not as user-friendly as Word is, but it's still definitely doable. We're going to come here to Insert, and you're going to go to Drawing and New. And once you're in the Drawing tool, right here you will see the classic text box icon, and you can just draw and type right in your text box, and you hit Save and Close. And then we can even go back so that we can click that and edit, because I want to show a border. If you would like to show a border of your text box, you can click the border weight right here. There we go. And you can also change the font within your text box if you want to. Save and Close. And now you can see the text box visually. If you would like to move the text box around the page, you can come here to wrap the text, and then you can kind of move the text box throughout the page, wherever you would like to put that. So that's how you would insert a text box. Again, just to review, insert, and you utilize the text box feature with a drawing. You can also insert a picture right into your Google Doc by going to Insert, Image, and if you just want to search the web for a picture, you can do Search Web, and let's say we look up a puppy. And you have pictures of puppies, and you can just double click your puppy and he will appear on your page. You can click your image, you can resize if you want to. Again, if you would like to move your image around the page, you're going to want to click the Wrap with Text or Move with Text option, and you can move your photo around to design your doc however you would like. One last thing I want to show you about a Google Doc is how to insert a link. So let's say I would like to tell my audience all about the DeSoto School District. Who would want to talk about that? So I'm going to type rather than typing the link, I'm actually just going to put a title, the DeSoto School District. And how you're going to insert a link into a word, a phrase, you're going to highlight what you would like to be linked, and you're going to come up here to the Insert Link icon and just insert the link that you would like to take your readers to. Hit Apply, and there you go. So as your reader is looking at the doc, They can click on the link and it will take them right to the DeSoto Public School page. So those are some different things that you can do with the Google Doc. Again, this is very comparable to Microsoft Word. The tools are just laid out a little bit more differently. In the end, if you are needing to share your child's document with their teacher, or maybe they're working collaboratively with another student, you can come up here to the share icon and you can enter that student's name right here, and that will also share the student's document. The next thing we're going to look at, we're going to come back to our home page here in our Google Drive, and we're going to look at Google Slides. Google Slides is very comparable to PowerPoint in the Office suite. Again, it's very similar. I actually think Google Slides has a few more capabilities than PowerPoint does. I'll just walk you through some of those tools as well. First thing we're always going to do is title our presentation. Again, that way it automatically saves and we know exactly what we're looking at in our Google Drive. So once you title your presentation, you can also file your presentation if you like to right here in this icon, and it pulls up your drive and you can hit move there. The next thing we're going to look at is basically creating our slide. There are themes that you can use over here to your right. If you don't want to use a theme and you want to create your own slide, I know from my kids, especially my experience, they like to change their backgrounds and really personalize their slides. So I'll show you how to do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Slide and Change Background. So you can choose a color for your background if you want. You can also choose to texture your background a little bit with gradient. You could also choose an image if you wanted an image for your background. I know last night I was working on some notes for school and I was looking up the pyramids. So you could do a Google search and you could even select an image for your background if you like. I'm going to choose just a soft blue color. It's usually a little bit easier to see if the background is lighter, but it is definitely preference. We're also going to come up here to Slide again, and you can apply layout. So you could have a title slide. I like this one because you can have 2 columns. There's a blank slide if you would like to totally customize it, and that's actually how we're going to start off, just with a total blank slide. You can insert a text box if you like, and that is right here in your toolbar section, and you can just draw your text box. Again, if you would like to have your text box be visible on the page, you're going to want to add border weight, like so. You can also, of course, change the font within your text box. You can highlight that, and you could make your font bigger. You can bold, italic, underline. You could change the color of your font, and you could also highlight your font. Another thing that you can do with Google Slide is inserting a picture. You can go to Insert, Image, and search the web, or your student might have pictures saved on their Chromebook in their drive, so you could also access photos from their drive. I'm going to do a web search. Sorry, I'm looking up puppies again. If you know me, I'm a sucker for puppies. You can choose whatever image you want. Just double click. And there is your picture to insert. And again, you can resize and slide it wherever you like. The cool thing about slides is you can really place the images and the text boxes wherever you want. You simply click on them and you drag and drop. Drag and drop them wherever you like on the page. Another really cool feature of Google Slides is inserting a video. So you can come here to Insert, Video, and let's say we're going to look up a video about the Crusades. Also a recent search I did. we're going to choose the first video. This looks like a great one, and what you do is you simply click on the video that you want. You will notice the border becomes outlined, and you hit select, and that video will actually appear right in your Google slide, and you can actually play the video directly from the slide when you are in presentation mode. Over here you can personalize, or customize how you want to play the video. Maybe you want to start it halfway through. You just need to show a clip for your presentation. You can also change when the video starts and when the video ends. You can select to autoplay when presenting so that when you click to that slide, it automatically plays. There's lots of different types of variations to really customize your video play when presenting. And very similar to what we talked about earlier, you can also insert a link, just as we did. So if I wanted to insert a link with the DeSoto School District, I would highlight whatever terms I wanted to link, and again I would find the link button, and I would simply type in the link that I would like to take my audience to. And another really cool feature about Google Slides is you can actually link to other slides within that presentation. So let's say I had a slide later about training specifically. I could highlight training, come up to link, and I could link to slides in this presentation. I only have one, but if you had other slides submitted already or made already, you could choose which slide you would like to link that information to. Another thing that you can do with Google Slides, very similar to PowerPoint, is implement transitions into your slideshow. This works really well if a student's giving a presentation in school, just to add a little bit of flair and personality to their presentation. And there's various transitions. Let's say we choose fade. You can also choose the speed of your transition between each slide. You can choose to apply to all slides. Another thing you can do is if you have images or movies inserted into your slide, you can select that and you can actually add animation to that object specifically. Like when I click, the puppy will appear. So I will kind of show you how that works. So the slide will fade in, and then I click, and there is my puppy. So it's really just a way to kind of personalize your information depending on the requirements of your student's presentation, some different tools that they can utilize. Let's get out of our transition. Sometimes if you make a mistake and you change something that you don't want to be changed, if you come up here, you can always undo a change, or if you want to redo it, you can redo that change. So those are also, those are tools that I use a lot because I might delete something and I didn't mean to delete it, so you can come right here and you can undo. There are other ways. This little icon here is another way that you can insert an image if you didn't want to go to insert. So there's a variety of tools very similar to PowerPoint that Google Slides can offer you guys and your children to utilize for their school. We're going to go back and we are going to actually revisit our drive, which is where we're at now. And again, if you are on your Rubik's Cube, you can utilize all of your Google icons right here. And in Drive, you will see we can find actually the Google slide that I made tonight, as well as the training doc that I made tonight, because I filed them right there in that training folder. So another thing that you can do in your Google Drive, if you are like me and you didn't file them right away or title them right away, you can also search some of your documents, and anything that has the word that you're searching, like I needed to search for my training document, you type it right there and they will come up by using the search feature in your Google Drive. One last tool that I would like to show you guys tonight is actually the email. This is the first year that we've had all of our students have access to an email address. So I think it's really important to kind of Have your child get used to checking their email because teachers will be communicating with them via email. They might get updates from their Google Classroom with their email. So it's a good feature just to kind of remember to check. And also, I know something that we have talked about at the high school level is composing an email, because a lot of times we just assume that kids know how to compose an email and speak to their teacher with a written email, and that's not always the case. So I'll walk you through that just real quick. So this is what your email looks like. You will come over here to compose and just type in your teacher's name. I'll use mine. Make sure to include a subject. Maybe we have a question about the training last week. So type that in the subject. As you're composing your email, you always want to start off with like, Dear Mrs. Stearns, just addressing your teacher professionally, and then you type their email. And sign your name. And then you can hit send to send that email. Another feature that I like, I just kind of wanted to show you guys in case a student could utilize this at some point. If they're sending emails for a club or something like that, you can also schedule when to send an email. If you don't want to send it right then, but maybe you want to send it tomorrow afternoon, you can hit the drop down arrow next to send, and you can pick a date and time to schedule your email, and it will go out at that time. So that is how you compose an email. I'm going to actually go back and try that one more time, because I wanted to show you how to insert documents into an email. So again, looking at those documents that we created together tonight, you can insert them right into an email. I know we've had students in the high school worry that maybe their stuff isn't saving. So they will email their assignment to their teacher that night, hoping that their teacher can access that in case something happens when they get to school the next day. So you can insert documents into an email just by accessing your Google Drive. And I had filed them in the training. So you select whichever document you would like to put in there, and I'm going to insert my slide, and then you hit send. If you are attaching a file, maybe you're not working directly from a Chromebook, you can also hit attachment if you're working from a computer. You can also insert a link into an email the same way that we did in our docs and our slides. You highlight, insert link, and then you would type that web address right there, and then that would create a link within your email. So those are just some of the features we wanted to talk about tonight. Again, I hope this helped a little bit, helped you and your student prepare for what's coming up this school year. We are so excited to see you guys next Monday. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks so much.